Based on results, Kurt Busch had a very good 2011 season in the NASCAR Cup Series. He won a pair of races at Sonoma and Dover and finished 11th in points. However, it was a season that was fraught with conflict for Busch, as he frequently had issues with his crew at Team Penske, and he had something of a feud with Jimmy Johnson. This would culminate at the season finale at Homestead, where Busch was in the garage with an early mechanical issue. He unleashed a profanity-laced tirade at ESPN reporter Jerry Punch, which soon went viral on the internet. Within weeks, Busch was released from Team Penske, and he needed a new team for 2012, but companies became quite leery of sponsoring him. For 2012, Busch would begin to drive for Phoenix Racing, a team that competed with limited sponsorship. While expectations were lowered going into the season, perhaps Busch would be the perfect underdog story.
The reigning Sprint Cup champion, first driver in 6 years not named Johnson.
Whoa, there he goes.
Oh boy!
There we go.
5 cars are in it.
Maybe more. Not
heavy damage to both Penske cars.
Bam.
To Tony Stewart.
What did Tony say this morning? He wasn't going to push Ryan.
That's right. Because every time he does, bad things happen.
Problem. Look at that. Jeff's going to move him up out of the groove and get by him.
Whoa! Busch is around. Can he save it this time?
Oh, there you go.
He does. He saves it. But there's a
Jeff Gordon's upside down. Jeff Gordon's upside down.
And Kurt Busch's car is destroyed.
Oh my gosh.
Here's our Fox Super Zoom as Jeff Gordon makes contact with the left rear corner of Kyle Busch's bumper. And by the way, Busch did a great job of saving that car from major damage. But look what happens in front of him.
What truly caused that was when Jeff Gordon got into Kyle Busch, Jeff Gordon moved up the racetrack, and there was just nowhere for most of these drivers to go.
Roof flaps deployed as the car was up on its side.
And look at Kurt Busch's car shed momentum and sheet metal everywhere.
See another driver that we felt like had one of the fastest cars here tonight involved in that, Jamie McMurray in that one car.
Yes, sir. And
Two-car tandem. Talk about teammates that have hooked up. Greg Biffle and his Roush Fenway Ford teammate, Matt Kenseth and Carl Edwards. 3 Fords.
Trouble already.
The wall. Slams to the outside. It's 5-time champion Jimmy Johnson. He collects Danica Patrick and the 34 of David Reagan.
Trevor Bayne, the 21 car, winner from last year. You see him involved?
Kurt Busch is involved.
I'm a little worried about Jimmy. He took a hard lick right in the door. And there's the HenryCar.com Chevrolet of Kurt Busch. He's got damage.
1 lap and 600 feet, and it's calamity. A hard hit for Kurt Busch puts us under the 7th caution of the day. Said he cut down a left rear tire, ran over a piece of debris. Here's a look from Kyle Busch's car.
So clear. Getting behind you.
You can just see it looked like the right rear went down, and the car just
yellows out.
Immediately turned.
Just caught the end of the one barrier and into the other. Now, that was similar to an area that Jeff Gordon hit a couple of years ago that was not protected by a safer barrier. So that wreck a lot less severe than it might have been a few years ago.
After 5 races, Busch had a best start of 12th place at Las Vegas and a best finish of 9th at Fontana. Additionally, he was just 23rd in points. At this point in 2011, Busch had finished in the top 10 4 times and was ranked 3rd in the standings.
One car way up out of the groove, Kurt Busch in turn 4.
I believe he's got a right front tire down. This is exactly what Michael Waltrip was talking about. Looks like possibly he's cooked the bead on that right front tire.
Now, can he get to pit road? Doubt it. He's gone way up the top of the racetrack.
No caution.
Needs a break in traffic to make pit road. He'll get it in the back straightaway here.
Yeah, he's going to get it right there. He'll be able to make it.
He was going to get it all right if he got down in front of those guys that were coming a lot faster than he was.
Kurt Busch was 32nd, 1 lap down. We do not have a yellow flag, so we stay green at 60 laps.
And being that, you know, being 32nd a lap down already tells you the car was probably off and handle, and that's what gets those beads. You just use way too much brake. So let's see if we can see what happened here to the 51 car. We're a long way back, but there you see the 51 car, Kurt Busch, goes up the hill. I don't know if he contacted the wall or not, made contact with the wall or not. I don't think he did, just cut the tire blew out.
And he's still sitting on pit road. He's just now leaving his pit box. He's going to be about 4 laps down when this is all said and done.
Yeah, with the car laying down on the right front like that, you can't get the jack under it. It takes everybody to pick up on the car and get that jack under there before you change the tire.
Well, Jeff Hammond has more on brake heat versus Martinsville. Oh, Kurt Busch there. And did he get the wall that time?
He's got another right front tire down. Remember, Kurt Busch in that first run had the same thing, and he did it again about in the same number of laps.
And that probably tells you, Larry, they just don't have adequate cooling to that right front brake system.
Slides way up there and just misses it.
Nah, never touched it.
Back to pit road and back to Jeff Hammond on brake heat.
Oh, trouble down here, guys.
Yeah, Kurt Busch got into somebody or something, almost into the back of Jeff Gordon, way up the racetrack, 3 wide.
Boy, they're still kind of trying to figure that mess out.
Yeah, Burton on the bottom, Gordon up top, and in the middle, Smith.
Something wrong with Gordon's car. He's got a problem. Must have a tire down.
And I believe Kurt Busch in the 51 has a tire rub as well. You can see the smoke.
Jeff Gordon's whole right side is torn up, Larry. The whole right side of his car is messed up.
We stay green. A lot of contact. I believe the first contact between Busch and Gordon may have done that.
So let's see figure out what happened
here.
Yeah, here's Gordon right down here. He gets loose. Oh, he gets into he gets into Biffle and Kurt Busch.
Yeah, Kurt Busch in the 51 had nowhere to go. He just drove into him.
I think it was Biffle and Gordon that really kind of got together and started Gordon up the hill, got into Busch, and Jeff's had the worst end of the deal.
And there, it looked like Busch had to lock him up to keep from running into the back of Gordon.
Yeah, well, Jeff Gordon's got a tire down. You can see right there, 43 got him a little bit, moved him up. A couple of different deals. Trouble. Right here, 51 car around on the front.
Yellow, we got a spin.
Kurt Busch has spun coming off turn 4 and clouds up the front straightaway, and that'll be our second caution of the night. It comes out at lap 116.
I think the way the car is wobbling, looks like something's wrong with the car. He was wobbling around a bit. Maybe he's just trying to figure out the tires.
Remember, he had that damage from after that restart with Jeff Gordon earlier.
Coming all by himself, and you see this happen here occasionally. Just a 360, catch a gear and keep on going.
But Darrell, that's been the trouble spot for a lot of drivers all weekend long.
Yeah. Oh, there goes Kurt Busch. Big slide.
Roll out of it, it's all good. Roll out of it.
Misses the wall and then collects it further down.
Yeah.
Oh, what a heartbreaker for Kurt Busch.
So good, so long.
But still on the lead lap.
Yeah, but he made very slight contact, but that's all it takes on that. The right side's pretty torn up, I think.
Rear spoiler looks bent back, Darrell.
He came all the way down this last little bit.
Well, he's coming to pit road the wrong way, which is going to put him a lap down. The spoiler looked fine. The right rear sheet metal on the right rear quarter panel might have got a little damage.
I think this is a move Ricky Bobby would make right here. Going the wrong way down pit road.
May not be a move that makes NASCAR happy, though.
No, Ricky's going to have a little problem on his hands.
Let's see what happened here as Kurt Busch swings it around. There he is in second place, right in front of Keselowski.
Just everybody. Keselowski just caught him on the wrong side of the bumper.
While he was turning in the middle of a trioval.
He was trying to move, yeah, he was making a move, and it just... The trioval is the hardest part of this racetrack. I say it over and over again, but I know it looks simple, but it's the hardest part.
Yeah, you can see there's a lot of damage to that 51 car of Kurt Busch's.
Oh, Kurt Busch in the wall again.
Yeah, he's got the right side out. He's worn the right side out.
All the way around that corner, and whoa, there he goes, and in the fence.
Oh, no.
He's wrecking. We stay green.
He's got a right rear tire down.
And he's around. Kurt Busch.
No, and there goes Newman off the bumper of someone.
And Ryan
He's
Newman
in the wall.
Bring out the caution flag with just 7 laps to go.
Kind of thought that we may see another caution.
With Michael Waltrip, Chris Myers in this, and the 51, you see Kurt Busch as the race winding down. This brought out the last caution here. Ryan Newman in the car right behind, 39.
Ryan gets hit when he slowed down to avoid Kurt Busch. Really, that wasn't Kurt's fault as much as anything. It just was a racing accident late in the race. He spun out. Another crew member, one of Ryan's crew members, comes over to Kurt Busch's team and starts voicing his displeasure. And then on pit road, watch this.
Yeah, this is after the race is completely over. The drivers aren't necessarily involved, although we did see Newman go over and talk to Kurt Busch. Remember, it was a year ago after the race, one of those in your face with Kyle Busch and Kevin Harvick. This time it's team members of Kurt Busch and Ryan Newman.
That's just Southern 500 emotion. Like you said, we saw it last year with Harvick and the other Busch, and now tonight the crew guys are getting into it. The drivers had a conversation after the race, Ryan and Kurt, and they seemed fine with what happened. Then the crews got involved.
Meanwhile, Michael Denny Hamlin finishes second behind Jimmy Johnson, just ahead of Tony Stewart, and Steve caught up with Denny.
Busch's season got even worse when he was suspended from competing at Pocono due to an incident at the Xfinity Series race at Dover when he and Justin Allgaier made contact, and Busch subsequently got into an argument with reporter Bob Pockras.
Trouble behind him. That's Kurt Busch spinning down the back straightaway. First caution of the day.
There you go. Something is wrong. Car is beyond loose. It's like a right front flat.
Had a caution lap 1 last week at Pocono, lap 2 this afternoon at Michigan for the man who won the championship in 2004.
And Kurt had his issues up here in practice. I think he spun 2 or 3 times in between this and the nationwide cars. Yeah. So he's had some issues, but you know, when Kurt talks about the right front being flat, that is so loose, that's what everybody has said, how slick this racetrack. You could see the smoke develop right there. He was already into a spin, but you see the marks. So this thing got away from him.
We have a caution, 6th of the day, and once again it's Kurt Busch down the back straightaway.
I think Kurt would like to go home right now.
Yeah, and you know, he's already got damage, so he's got his hands full anyhow. We've seen him in a couple of different shots with faster cars and him pulling down, getting out of the way. But that thing was pretty much juking and jiving on him a few times.
It was, yeah, he was having a hard time when it was good.
When it was good.
Yes.
Field a little discombobulated with a cycle of green flag pit stops. We'll get everything reset when we return. As of now, it's Montoya on point at Michigan.
This is a place you can run wide open, but they're having to do that to monitor and modulate that temperature.
Kurt Busch bullying it up through the middle.
Goodness. I mean, Kurt Busch pulled out of the bottom lane, went to the middle, and said, "To heck with this. Let's go make it happen."
See how that car's
and
moving around?
There
There
we got trouble. Trevor Bayne into the wall. Kurt Busch trying to save it.
And you see these guys spinning behind. It's because they check up and somebody else doesn't check up. But everyone else has been hit.
That's Bobby Labonte in the 47 who went for a ride.
I told you, when you get in the middle of things, they waddle like Porky Pig over there. That's exactly what that thing did. And when he made the move off here, I mean, he was like, all right, I've had enough. I'm coming. And, man, he forced his way in the middle.
You said earlier, drivers get anxious after a while. Second caution of the night.
18 races into the season, and Busch improved his best finish to 3rd at Sonoma, where he also had his best start in 8th. Despite this, Busch was now 25th in points.
We've got a crash. It's Kurt Busch.
Kurt Busch having a solid day until now, Alan.
Hard crash for Kurt, who had just come off the pit lane after a green flag stop.
We blew out a left front tire.
You heard the diagnosis.
Yeah, left front. They just changed 2 tires on that stop. Yeah, I might want to go back and see if maybe he slid that left front getting on the pit road.
He was running 21st at the time.
Well, that's a hard crash.
Yeah.
Or destroyed.
So you see Kurt's already hung his helmet on the hook inside the car. And the steering wheel up on the dash. And the window net comes down. Watch the right side of your screen here.
Yeah, it's hard to tell from that exactly what happened, but he was definitely out of shape when he got there.
Yeah, you could see that like something definitely happened as he got down in the car, just turned sideways and then hard into the wall. Carried a lot of speed over that tunnel turn and not much time to get things woed down.
Another twist in the plot. Caution out for the 5th time here at Michigan. Kurt Busch running 21st into the wall.
I'll throw out that strategy we saw playing out. Told you can't count on anything here, Al.
Wow.
Got out of the groove.
That just took off on him.
It almost looked like something broke right there on the car.
Yeah.
Where he couldn't turn it.
So tough day for Kurt, the former champ. Caution out because Kurt Busch and Regan Smith crashed. Here's a look. We're under the yellow and we're back to Bristol after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
Not surprisingly, Kurt Busch missed the playoffs as he was only 25th in points. However, he and Phoenix Racing could still up their game for the season and end it nicely.
Oh, trouble. Kurt Busch. Inside wall. Somehow again.
I'm out of fuel. I'm out of fuel and I got wrecked, guys. Why am I out of gas? I show 5 more laps down here.
I wonder if that's what's wrong with Casey Kane.
Have to wonder. Yeah. We saw him just drop straight to the bottom going into turn 1, and then this happened with Kurt Busch.
Yeah, what a shame. Kurt Busch
was leading, wasn't he?
Great job driving this race car. But you run out of fuel in front of the pack.
Yep.
No, he wasn't leading it when it happened, but oh yeah. There's sitting duck right there.
And it looked like by that shot, unless something happened, that Trevor Bain was going to be the recipient of the free pass.
He was.
God, what a shame.
Well, Kurt Busch said he was out of gas. Doc, is that what's wrong with the 5? That's very interesting that they all were. What was that?
Stop, Kurt. They want you to stop right now. They want you to
I think
stop.
that was some of the safety equipment.
Not hear him. He's got his,
They want you to stop.
Got his helmet off. He's not hearing them.
Yeah.
It's mandatory if you
They want you to stop, Kurt. They want you to stop.
NASCAR has told the 51 team that they are done for the day.
Following Talladega, Busch began to drive for Furniture Row Racing, replacing Regan Smith for the final 6 races of the season.
Brian Newman looking for some running room around Kyle Busch. Oh, trouble. Into the walls, the 18, and more trouble. Sam Hornish collected. Newman's torn up.
And Newman gets in the back of Kyle Busch. He was already loose. Kyle was pretty much all day. But you can see just how close that was for Keselowski.
Well, he drove right in between everything that was happening.
As we work now to the final 10 laps of this race. Kurt Busch just scraped the wall in the 78.
He may have a power.
And is this going to leave anything behind it?
Coming in. There will be no yellow
There's a 78.
It looked like just one of those where the tire was going down, didn't really blow out. You can see the right front is down on it though, but unfortunate for Kurt and his race team. Trouble, Kurt Busch.
Yellow flag.
Hello, Martinsville. I knew it would show up eventually.
He spun that car, didn't hit a thing.
I believe what Kurt's referencing is that he might have had a little help in that spin.
Yeah, he might not have hit anything, but there might be something he'd like to hit right now. Let's see what happens. Harvick drives it in. I don't think Kurt Busch had any idea that Harvick was coming there. I believe that was a situation that I believe he might have hit the front end.
Yeah.
But
didn't hit it too hard though.
Yeah, he was just letting the 55 go and going to fall back in, and Harvick tried to take advantage of the opening.
In the 2012 season, Kurt Busch started 35 races. He had a best start of 6th place at both Pocono and Phoenix and a best finish of 3rd at Sonoma. He only had 5 top 10 finishes all season, 3 of which came after joining Furniture Row Racing. Busch also only led 19 laps all season and finished 25th in points, his worst ranking since 2001.